Hello and welcome to Garter and Stitch Crochet. My name is Catherine and I'm so happy to have you here with me today. Today's tutorial will be working 6 UK double crochet, which the US version is 6 single crochet into a magic ring. It's a little bit confusing initially with the difference between the UK and the US stitches. I actually prefer the US because for me it just seems more straightforward, a single crochet, double crochet, treble. But the UK, we don't have the single crochet. So it's a UK double crochet and a US single crochet. So I have in a previous video shown you how to create your magic ring. I will link that video below in the description. So we won't spend terribly long on the magic ring. For this particular tutorial, I would grab yourself a hook, a large hook. When you're learning crochet is always best because they create larger stitches and thicker wool. It just helps when you're starting out. Also, it's good to get used to starting to learn how to use the stitch markers. The stitch markers are very helpful because if you lose count whilst you're crocheting, you can simply go back to your number 1 stitch, which you will have put the stitch marker in, and count the stitches. So you don't have to start all over again. I would advise you get used to using the stitch markers. As with all my videos, the beginner tutorials, I will repeat this 3 times. I hope that is helpful to you. It just means that you don't have to rewind or replay the video. We can just go through it 3 times. So again, as I said, we won't spend too much time on the magic ring, but the magic ring, we have our fingers of our left hand and the tail end of the wool coming towards us, and we have our ball of wool here. Okay, we wrap the wool around our fingers and make a cross. Secure that gently with our thumb and turn our fingers round. Then with our hook, we go underneath the first strand. We grab our wool, the second strand, pull it through, twist our wrist, turn our fingers round, and there we have our magic ring. Now we transfer into our left hand the wool which is attached to the ball, not the tail, the wool that's attached to the ball, and we secure that. We do 1 chain. Okay, so now you're going to get the wool in whatever way feels comfortable in your fingers. I tend to wrap the strand that's coming from my work around my forefinger and that just helps me keep a level of tightness. But again, and especially when you're first starting crochet, try not to have things too tight, because otherwise as you continue to crochet you will find it hard to get your hook through the stitches. So we will begin. So to do our first English double crochet, we have the loop of wool already around our hook, and we're just going to put the hook through this ring. Yep, just through the ring. Okay, so I'll just let you do that. Then we're going to grab hold of the wool with our hook. So we take our hook under the strand and over and twist. And we're just going to gently bring that wool through that large loop. And as you can see here, you now have 2 loops on your hook. Then, just keeping everything gently and secure in place, we're going to grab the wool that's on our forefinger that's attached to the ball of wool, hook it. So we go under and hook, and we're going to pull this wool through these 2 loops. Very gently, and there. If you have difficulty getting the wool through those 2 hoops, it may be that you've just made everything a little bit too tight, and you might need to go back and loosen it. So we then move on to our next, before I forget. So here you can see that we have created our first double crochet. Yep, so that's our first stitch. So we're going to put the stitch marker through this V shape here, and that's just going to let us know that that was our first stitch. Okay. Then we're going to put our hook. You should have 1 loop on your hook. Put our hook through the big loop, and then we're going to hook under our wool, which is here, and we're going to draw that hook through the big loop, where we will have 2 loops on our hook. Then we're going to hook the wool that's coming from our forefinger and just gently bring it through the 2 loops. Okay, sometimes you can get a little bit stuck. A loose strand of wool might attach, or there are just various things that you might struggle, but just practice it again and you'll get there. Another thing I find helpful is, as I go along, I just pull the tail of the magic ring just to shorten the ring a bit. Okay, so now we've made our 2 stitches, we're going to move on and complete our 6. So hook through the hoop, grab the wool, bring the wool through the big hoop, 2 loops on our hook, grab the wool, twist our hook and pull it through. Going round, our hook goes in through the big loop, the big circle. It grabs the wool and we bring it through that big circle. We have 2 loops on our hook. We grab the wool and bring it round. Okay, so you can see quite clearly here we've got 1, 2, 3, 4 English double crochet stitches, which is 4 US single crochet stitches. Then again we put our hook through the big hole, we grab our wool, we bring it through, we have 2 loops on our hook. We grab our hook and we pull it through. And then the last one, you can see, yeah, the last one here, we're going to get our hook, put it through the big hole, grab our wool, pull it through, get our hook and pull it through the 2 loops. Now we have our 6 stitches. We can create our magic ring by pulling the tail end of the magic circle, magic ring. Just going to draw that shut. Okay, you can see there. And then we're going to just do a slip stitch through where our stitch marker is. So we take the stitch marker out, we grab our wool with our left hand, the wool that's attached to the ball, not the tail. For the slip stitch, we're just going to put our hook through those 2 stitches, the V shape. We're then going to grab the wool with our hook and we're going to pull it through those 2. And then we're going to pull the hook through the loop on the hook. And there we've created our slip stitch. So we have our first round of 6 double crochet or 6 US single, and then we would carry on, but for the purpose of this tutorial we'll just undo it all and we'll do it again. Oh, got a bit knotted, I'll just cut it off. Right, so here we go. We'll pick up pace a little bit now. So we've got our tail, we're going to wrap the wool around our fingers and we're going to create that cross with the tail facing us. Okay, we're going to turn our fingers over, put the hook under the first strand, grab the second strand, pull it through, twist our fingers back. And there we have our loop. We're going to grab the wool which is attached to the ball of wool in our left hand. We're going to do one chain stitch. I also have a video for chain stitch which I can also add to the description box below this video. So we do our first double crochet in The hook goes in through the big hole, grabs the wool. We have 2 hoops on our hook. Going to grab the wool with our hook, and we're going to pull it through those 2 loops. Then we're going to get our stitch marker, and we're going to mark that first double crochet stitch, or single crochet if you're in American terms. Okay, and now we're just going to continue and do 5 more. So we go hook through the big loop, draw the wool through, hook round the wool and bring through the 2 stitches. Pull the ring slightly just to keep it not too loose, and again hook through the big hole, grab the wool, bring the wool through, grab the wool with the hook and draw it through the 2 stitches. Now we've got 1, 2, 3 double crochet. 3 more. If you can hear snoring, that's a little doggy next to me, so do apologise. He's had a lovely long walk and is now absolutely knackered. Thank goodness. There we go. And then we're going to do 1 more. Put our hook through the big loop, grab hold of our wool, hook around the wool and bring it through. Then we're going to pull the tail of the magic ring. You can see the ring is formed. We take out our stitch marker, and then we're going to, so you see that V shape there? So our first stitch, we're going to put the hook through those 2, that V. We're going to grab the wool and pull it through those 2. Then we're just going to turn our hook down and pull that wool through that loop on our hook and tighten the ring. And there we are. Okay, we'll do it one last time, and hopefully you'll be able to start creating some working in the round. Okay, so we have our tail, we wrap our wool, we do a cross, we turn our fingers over, we put our hook through the first stitch, grab the wool, bring it through gently, there. Then we get the wool that's attached to the ball of wool, and in our left hand, and then we do a chain. Okay, then we're going to do our first UK double crochet, US single crochet, going to get our stitch marker, going to pop that through that V shape like that, and then we're going to do 5 more. One, pull the ring a bit, 2, 3, 4, 5. If you lose count, it's okay, because you can just go back then to where the stitch marker is and just count those V shapes. So if you know you've got to have 6 double crochet, you just check 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Okay, so we're going to pull that ring shut. We're going to take out our stitch marker. We're going to do a slip stitch. So we're going to go through that little V shape there. Yep. Grab the wool with our hook, pull it through that V shape, and then pull this loop through this loop. There we go. Then you can just pull again the tail of the magic ring just to secure it. And there we have our 6 English double crochets into a magic circle, or our 6 US single crochets into a magic circle. I hope very much that this tutorial was helpful. If you have any comments or suggestions, please do let me know, and I look forward to seeing you at the next tutorial. Thanks for watching. Bye.